Welcome in, everybody, to the Flagship podcast. I am your host, Chip Brown of horns247.com. Very excited to bring into the Flagship podcast interview the one and only Max Abmas. All right, Max, did I pronounce that correctly?
Yeah, you got it right, my man.
Because I know I was talking to Russell Springman about you, and he said that, like, for the first year, he called you the wrong name. He called you Abmas, and he said that he apologized to your dad, Troy.
Right.
And Troy said, "Hey, man, as long as, Max is happy and going, you can call me whatever you want." But how many times do people get that wrong?
I mean, everybody always gets it wrong, especially the first time seeing it. I kind of got used to it just being pronounced wrong, and it's kind of like it is what it is to me.
You just have a chuckle and go on. But I'll tell you, mid-court Max. I mean, you get this nickname from Kenny Smith and Charles Barkley.
Mm-hmm.
How cool is that? And I've never heard anyone called mid-court before.
Right.
Like when you heard that was trending as you led ORU to the Sweet 16 as a sophomore, led the nation in scoring at 24.5 points per game, and you were insane in the NCAA tournament. Only player since Steph Curry to score at least 25 in 3 straight NCAA tournament games.
Right.
I mean, that had to have been nuts.
Oh, for sure, man. It's hard to describe, man. It was just a whole lot of emotions at the time. Just enjoying the whole process, being in the tournament, being able to make that run and, kind of seeing some of the things that came with it. For the whole thing, I was just locked in on doing what I can to help us win so that we could keep playing and keep advancing in the tournament.
Yeah, I mean, it was awesome to watch. Did people send you T-shirts that said Midcourt Max on it? Do you have anything like that?
No, they didn't send me any T-shirts that year. I had some T-shirts made the next year, so I didn't have any sent to me like that.
Oh, is that like an NIL deal? Because I'll order some right now.
Yeah, it was. I did after the Sweet 16 run. I'm gonna probably have to, come up with some new merch now that I'm getting down there to Texas. So I had to let you know about that.
Hey, you're not going to be in Tulsa anymore, my friend. You're going to be
right
with one of the largest bodies of living alumni of any university in the world. You put out some Midcourt Max merch,
mm-hmm.
and that stuff's you're gonna sell out so fast. You're gonna have to get a new T-shirt printer.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I mean, that is fantastic. Do you mind if I call you Midcourt Max? No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, I'm good with it.
I mean, people still call you that sometimes. I mean,
a little bit. I mean, the people that you kind of see every day is, it's just Max, but kind of on the outside, I'll hear it sometimes.
Yeah, and of course, the Midcourt Max is from you pulling up from the logo. And, I'm sitting there watching Jamal Murray pulling up from 29, and I'm like, I've seen Max Abmas pull up from 29 like nobody's business. And the amazing thing is you shot 40% from 3 the last 3 seasons, averaging 23 points per game.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, your range, 29, 30 feet?
Wherever.
I love it. Midcourt Max. Wherever. I mean, this is what's happening here. It's fantastic. Texas fans, you're in for a treat. I mean, first of all, go to YouTube and watch the man's highlights. He's the 2-time Summit League Player of the Year. He led the nation in scoring 24.5 points, for crying out loud, 2 years ago. And Max, you could have gone anywhere. You lead the nation in scoring. You could have gone anywhere.
Right.
And you stayed. Why did you stay at Oral Roberts and play all 4 years?
I think, for me, just talking with my family and the coaching staff, just looking at the relationship I had with the coaching staff and, how that relationship has grown since I got there my freshman year. Just being locked in on that. And, after going in that tournament run, going back, my goal was just to get us back to that tournament and get us back to that spotlight that we got.
Yeah, and you did it. You did it. I mean, you take Oral Roberts to 2 NCAA tournaments, 2 Summit League Player of the Year awards, all conference, first team. I mean, the list goes on, but it's a fantastic story. And Russell Springman told me that he came up to you, and when you told him you were going to be entering the transfer portal, and he said, "Hey, I just want to thank you for staying and being
Mm-hmm.
here, because you've been a blessing to the program."
Mm-hmm. No, definitely. Yeah, he told me that, and that's my guy, Coach Springman. He's the one who really recruited me up there to go to Oral Roberts, and from the first day that he reached out, and we started building that relationship. It only got stronger over the last 4 years, and that's somebody that I'll continue to have a relationship with the rest of my life.
Yeah, Russell Springman, of course, who was an assistant at Texas, was the point man on the recruitment of Kevin Durant
Right.
to Texas. Springman told me his first call when he joined Coach Mills' staff was to Max Abmas. Literally, the first call he made after getting on the staff at ORU was to Max Abmas, and
Right.
what a move. And now here's the amazing thing, Max. You're this prolific scorer, and the only 5 offers you had out of Dallas Jesuit High School
Mm-hmm.
was Marist, ORU, and the 3 military academies.
That's right. That's right.
How does that happen?
I mean, I think
I mean,
it's crazy. It's like didn't pass like the eye test of kind of being that, I guess, prototypical D1 player. But for me, it's just control what you can control, and I knew working hard and doing everything that I could do to put myself in a better position, that everything would take care of itself.
Yeah, and your high school coach, Chris Hill, told me that Oral Roberts, I think, had another player they wanted to offer, but they said they would be, they were waiting on you to tell them, and that stood out to you in terms of, okay, they're being loyal to me, I'm going to be loyal to them. What part did that play in your decision to go with Oral Roberts?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's always great to feel wanted by school, and talking with Coach Freeman and Coach Mills, and like the vision that they saw for the program, and kind of how they wanted me to come in and have an impact on it. That was all things that I really liked about the situation, and just like I said, just when you really want it, and you feel really want it, that's a good thing, especially coming from a school.
All right, well, we'll take a quick break here on the Flagship podcast, talking to Max Abmas, the grad transfer from Oral Roberts University, who will be enrolling at Texas here soon, June, and getting ready for a season with the Longhorns. We've got a lot more with Max coming up next. And if you're watching us on the Horns 24/7 YouTube channel, we'll roll on. And Max, that leads me into okay, one more story. The other thing that Chris Hill told me was that your family lives in Rockwall.
Right.
And your parents, because you're super bright, wanted you to be challenged or something, sent you to Dallas Jesuit. Now, for people who don't know, Rockwall, you have to cross a bridge like over Lake Ray Hubbard. It's like a 40-minute drive into Dallas. And I can't imagine what that morning traffic was like for you, Max. Tell me, how big of a commitment was that, just trying to get to school on time?
Man, it was a crazy commitment. Not just getting to school on time, but even practice, because we would do things in the morning too. But as I look back on it, it was a huge commitment, and I give a lot of credit to my parents. They were real committed to taking me out there every morning before work. Really early mornings, and they didn't complain or anything about it. So I really give all the credit to them. And it was a great situation for me, going there 4 years, and preparing me for college as well.
Well, okay, last story. from Chris Hill, your high school coach, before we move on to Rodney Terry and get these Texas fans what they want to hear. But I thought this was great. So you were supposed to, your older brother, Mason, he went to Rockwall Heath.
He did.
And played there, kind of got his name there. And then you go to Jesuit, but Jesuit played Rockwall Heath, I think, your senior year.
It was my junior. We played them a few times. We played them twice my junior year and then once my senior year.
Okay. Your junior year, you went there.
Senior, yeah, we went there senior year. Yep.
Okay, so your senior year, he said when you went back to Rockwall Heath, the fans remembered that you were supposed to go to Rockwall Heath, and they were booing you and they were giving you the business. Your brother walks into the game and sits on Jesuit's side. They're giving him the business. Like, Chris Hill was genuinely worried for like people's safety at this basketball game because the fans were so stirred up about you.
Right.
And then you score 24 and like go on a one-man run they cut it to 2 with 6 minutes left. You like steal, going for a layup. You hit a midcourt max 3 and then scored another basket to put the game away. How intense was that scene? Because he also said that was the best example he had for your killer instinct.
Yeah, man, it was a great scene. I mean, the environment for one. High school games, you don't get, really good environments like that. But that was one of those that was really good environment. Just being in that position, for me, it was, a whole lot of outside distractions. You had that association with me and, Rockwall Heath and, me going to Jesuit instead. But, I was just so locked in on the game that, I just blocked all that out and just went out there and did what I had to do to help us get a win.
Well, that's awesome. And shout out to your mom, Erica, and your dad, Troy.
Yes, sir.
For lugging you across that bridge every morning to get you into Big D Dallas. Do they work in Dallas?
They do. Yep, they did.
Okay, so it was kind of on their way.
Yeah, it worked out. They would drop me off and then get to work in the morning.
Okay, all right, that's fair. All right, so Rodney Terry in Texas. Again, Max, you could have gone to any school in the country when you decided to be a grad transfer. What set Texas apart in terms of your wanting to be a Longhorn?
Yeah, I think for one, that relationship with the coaching staff is huge. And going on my visits, spending some time with them, really built a good relationship with them, and had a great time down there. That was actually my first time visiting Austin and actually staying there. So it was cool to see the city, real nice city, but a lot of the basketball side of things, just the vision that they have for the program too. And, the expectations are high, and I understand that. And, you want the expectations to be high, and it's expected to win down there. So, that was a big thing too for me, being in a position where I feel like we can win, and being a Texas kid, playing for the home state, that's always a dream.
Yeah. How did they, players want to know how they're going to be used. What vision do you have for me offensively, defensively? What are we going to do? What did they say?
I mean, I know just talking with them, they want me to come in and be me, and not change my game or anything. But a big piece that I really like too was that player development side of things, where there's always room for improvement, areas that I can be better at. And so, having the right people around me that'll, tell me the things that I need to improve on, help me improve in those areas so that I can, continue to be a better player and, put myself in a better position for the future.
Well, do you see yourself in a similar role to the way they used Marcus Carr?
Yeah, I think so. I got to watch some of the games of Texas this year, and kind of seeing how they used, Marcus this year, making decisions, coming off different types of screens. And, for me, being in a position where I'm playing with, other really good players as well, and, building that chemistry and just playing off one another.
Well, we're filming this at just the right time because Tyrese Hunter announced on his social media that he's coming back to Texas.
Right.
What went through your mind when you saw that news?
I mean, it's big. I mean, it's a guy who played big minutes for, Texas last year. Had some success, and nowadays it's a whole lot of there's multiple guards on the court at once, and so, being in a position where I'm playing with another ball handler, I don't always have to bring the ball up the court. We kind of play off one another, and excited to get down to Austin and start building that chemistry with him and the rest of the team, and looking forward to what we can do this year.
Well, I also talked to your AAU coach, Kevin Butler,
Mm-hmm.
and he's the same AAU coach for Kendall Weaver.
Right.
From Mansfield, who
Mm-hmm.
went to UT Arlington last year as a freshman and won WAC Freshman of the Year. He's a
Right.
6'3" guard with like a 6'7" wingspan.
Mm-hmm.
I can't imagine years-wise you would have played on the same AAU team. But what do you know about Kendall Weaver, and what has Kevin Butler told you?
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to play with him, but I kind of stayed around the program even after I left. Kind of kept up with him. Went to some of the games, and I actually seen Kendall play with him a couple times. And when I played, I actually played with one of his cousins, and so he was always kind of around the program. So I've definitely seen him before. Seen what he did at UTA this year as a freshman, and I mean that's huge. Especially a first year guy going into a program and having a big impact like that, winning, WAC freshman of the year. And so, a really talented kid, and, a good kid too. And like you said, it's kind of, both of us play for Kevin Butler, and it's kind of like a 3D reunion down in Austin.
3D, baby. Was it Team Business?
That's right. That's right.
Team Business out of Dallas, Kevin Butler's AAU team.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so then down low,
Mm-hmm.
you got Dylan DeZoo, who had this breakout postseason. Guy averages 22 points in the NCAA tournament, 18 points in the Big 12 tournament. Just wow. And then you add Caden Shedrick,
Mm-hmm.
6'11", big man from Virginia who can block shots, give you some rim protection. Talk about those guys in the front court.
Yeah, I think that's huge. I mean, you got two really good pieces at the big position, and I think the really big thing too with both of them is they have the experience playing at high level basketball. And so you look at Dylan, who was at Texas last year, I believe was at Vanderbilt before, and then you have Caden, who was at Virginia. I mean, they've played that high level Power 5 basketball, and so they have experience. They know what it takes to win. And so, those are really good players that I'm looking forward to playing with as well.
Yeah. So right there, folks, there's a pretty stout starting five if you're keeping track at home. Dylan Mitchell telling the San Antonio Express News he's leaning towards staying in the NBA draft because he hit 16 of 25 threes in his workout, and he didn't even attempt a three at Texas last season. But we'll see how that goes. But anything else stand out to you, Max, about Rodney Terry, the recruiting process, or Texas?
I mean, like I was saying, that relationship was a huge piece for me, and that the relationship goes a long way, and being able to build that, and feeling like you're wanted, and that one of the reasons I went to Oral Roberts was because I really felt like I was wanted, and I really felt wanted by Coach Terry and the rest of the staff, and so that was huge for me, and I'm just excited to get down to Austin this summer and start working with the guys and building that chemistry, and really looking forward to the season and what we can accomplish.
So I was in Tulsa last
Mm-hmm.
week.
Right.
I ended up going to that Live Golf event.
Mm-hmm.
But I also went down to the Greenwood district
Mm-hmm.
and was just amazed. For those who don't know about the Greenwood district, this was Black Wall Street in the early 1900s, and then it was literally burned to the ground by the segregated white part of Tulsa because, it was over a misunderstanding of all things, but I went down to Wanda J's Soul Food.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic, unbelievable. So where, tell me about your time in Tulsa and where, what you would do for fun and where you went to get some good grub.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good time in Tulsa. Built really good relationships with my teammates, and you know how basketball is. You're with them, 90% of the time, and so being with them a lot, hanging with them, do stuff like going to the mall. They have the place called the Gathering Place. Go over there, just chill outside, get some good weather, and just different things that kind of build the relationship, continue to bond together, and you're with the guys so much, and you just build relationships that'll last a lifetime.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Are you in touch with any of the Texas guys now?
Yeah, actually, one of them, Gavin Perryman, he played high school basketball with me, so
That's right.
he was my host when I came down there, and we've been in touch, and talked a little bit with Brock Cunningham, with Dylan DeSue, and so we'll be down there really soon, and get to work.
Yeah, Gavin Perryman, son of Brandy Perryman, former Longhorn. All right, so he's your host. I meant to ask you that. He's your host on your official visit. They're putting you up at the Four Seasons or wherever they put you up. What did Gavin? What was that visit like? How did Gavin make it special? Because he was your teammate at Jesuit.
Right. I mean, for one, we had a relationship that goes back, and so, he just, told me about the university, told me about his experience, kind of how everything was, and, having a relationship before I know he's not going to lie to me. He's going to tell me, the truth of, how everything is, and it was nothing but good things from him. He's enjoyed every part of his experience there, and, he was a good host too. I'll give him that. He was a good host.
Okay. All right. He made sure you had chocolates on your pillows at the Four Seasons, and
he made sure I was taken care of. Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, good. You don't want to have your high school buddy not give you the extra. I mean, maybe he could get you an extra gift bag or something from the coaches. All right. Well, that's good. That's good. Listen, Max, they're mid-court Max, folks. All right. So Max, now you got to tell me when you're going to release some more of this mid-court Max merchandise.
I got you for sure. I got you.
I got a radio show in Austin on 102.7 ESPN radio, weekdays 11 to 1, shameless plug. And I'll help promote the mid-court Max merch.
I got you. Yeah, I'm going to work on that. I'm going to let you know.
Listen, I am a savvy businessman. I'm telling you, you're going to make a fortune on this.
Yes, sir.
And we got to move fast because you got 1 year. So, let's get it rolling here. But Max, really appreciate it, man. I know you're going 100 miles an hour, and I really appreciate you taking some time with us here on the Flagship podcast.
Definitely appreciate you having me.
All right. For Max Abmas, make sure you pronounce it correctly, kids. Abmas. I am Chip Brown. Until next time, we'll see you over at horns247.com. Thanks for listening. Stay safe and keep the faith.